You'll see it in the chart. And that chart is looking forward to 5,000. And if it goes on that run, the actual top of it is very hard to predict. It's the angle of attack that you have to watch for and the maintenance of that kind of, rocket takeoff. And gold is on that now. When it's on the 9 o'clock news or whatever the equivalent is these days, gold, because gold is for war and they have to lay in their security.
Gold is currently in a strong upward trend, heading towards $5,000. Predicting the exact peak is difficult, but the key is monitoring its steep trajectory and whether it sustains this rapid rise. Gold is now exhibiting the same explosive growth that many commodities have shown in recent years. Governments are accumulating gold as a strategic asset, especially in times of conflict, like in Ukarine and Russia, as it represents security. Clem Chambers is a prominent entrepreneur, author, and financial analyst, explains currently, capital flight is moving towards crypto rather than gold. Gold is seen as a reserve for governments during crises, while Bitcoin is used by individuals preparing for potential disasters. As global tensions rise, both assets are benefiting, fueled in part by central banks injecting liquidity into markets, especially in China. Gold recently hit a record high of $2,648 per ounce, up 28% this year. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has also surged, climbing 7% in September alone. The ongoing rise in gold and Bitcoin prices is a signal of escalating geopolitical tensions and a warning of what may come. The SEC and global regulators have made it increasingly difficult for crypto to thrive, with complex rules that stifle innovation. Clem Chambers exposes in places like China, while crypto isn't officially banned, holding too much could lead to trouble with authorities. Worldwide, crypto isn't exactly welcomed, and this has limited its upward momentum. If Bitcoin were to suddenly surge to $100,000, it would signal worsening global issues. People are holding on to crypto as a hedge in these uncertain times, just as governments are accumulating gold. While an optimistic turn of events might reverse this trend, the current landscape, whether in China-Taiwan, Iran-Israel, or Ukraine-Russia, shows no signs of improving, which keeps driving both gold and crypto prices up. Before we show clips from Clem's interview, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Only about 10% of viewers have subscribed, so we need your support to reach our goal. Don't miss out.
You are going to have the flight capital now is crypto, not gold. And, haven capital, flight capital, gold is state capital for terrible situations. Bitcoin would be the sort of capital that somebody who might think the worst is going to happen would lay some aside to. And as tensions rise, those things will go together. Now, people are saying that it's increased liquidity coming in from central banks, and that is flushing into Bitcoin. And of course, there is an element of that, without doubt. Liquidity, i.e., cash, being pushed into the market, as is really being pushed into the market in China in the last few days. That is going to go into all assets. But if you look at gold, when they went massive QE, when they go, we're going to save the world because of COVID, or we're going to save the world because of 2008, it doesn't actually, slingshot gold. It lifts things. I mean, it's more lifts equities than anything else. But, the sort of thing you're seeing now, I believe, is directly linked to this vicious cycle of increased geopolitical tensions. And the thing is that it's a leading indicator of what happens next. It's not what has happened, it's what is happening now at the levels of the sort of people that are driving these prices. They know what's going on and we don't. We'll read about it in 3 months. So, if gold were to start to fall back off again and Bitcoin would start to fall back off again, that would actually be good news for the world. But if it keeps on going up, that's bad. It's very, very bad. You can look at crypto and say, well, the SEC hates crypto, and probably the Democrats are going to get back in, and they really hate crypto, and all the regulators around the world have, in one way or the other, basically defanged crypto by making it very difficult to actually build anything crypto because of all the rules. And although some people say that crypto isn't illegal in China, try not to have too much of it over there. You might go missing. The police might arrest you and say, "Oh, thank you very much for your crypto. You're a bad person." So all around the world, depending on where you look, crypto is hardly welcomed. anywhere really. And that kind of takes out the upward pressure that's been on crypto for the last decade, because, you can't it's extremely difficult to do an ICO. It's extremely difficult to do a game with a crypto in it and not break some rule of money. Crypto is now no longer, there's no rules about crypto. There's plenty of rules about crypto, and many that aren't exactly written out so that you can actually obey them. So crypto has got that lid on it, but something's keeping it up. And what's keeping it up is this geopolitical tension. And, if suddenly Bitcoin went to 100,000, that would really be a bad sign for somewhere. But, it doesn't matter whether it be a good or bad sign. That's what would happen. And, if you've got a position in crypto, that's kind of one of the few reasons to have one at the moment, is that things are getting, increasingly slowly but surely. And, while countries are laying in gold, individuals are laying in crypto. It would take a real optimist to see that, things are going to get easier in China, Taiwan situation, with the Iran-Israel situation, or whatever, however you want to spin that, or the Ukarine and Russia situation. There's no end in sight in any of them. And so much potential for them to get a lot worse. So I think that's essentially what you are seeing with the gold price and with the crypto price. You're seeing a not improving situation when it comes to geopolitics.
Clem Chambers says, I initially didn't expect gold to go beyond $2,000, but now charts are pointing towards $4,000 to $5,000. Many argue that gold is the original form of money and might become currency again if the dollar collapses. However, even if the world doesn't end, gold likely won't return as everyday currency. In times of war, gold becomes the only reliable currency for many nations, making it the ultimate reserve for governments during extreme crises. Analysts predict gold could reach $2,700 by early 2025. Clem Chambers highlights, initially, Trump seemed like a sure winner, but now with Harris in the race, it looks like he might lose. Harris had a slight lead after their first debate, which took place on September 10th. Trump has expressed reluctance to engage in further debates, claiming it's unnecessary since early voting has already started in several states. The next debate is scheduled for October 23rd, pending Trump's participation. However, one way Trump could still win is if Democratic voters become complacent and don't turn out, while every Trump supporter is guaranteed to vote. According to Clem Chambers, from a crypto perspective, Democrats are generally anti-crypto, while Trump seems less opposed to it. Despite his flaws, Trump's treatment by the legal system feels unjust to some, echoing what happened to Bill Clinton. As an underdog, Trump has garnered sympathy, especially considering how figures like Giuliani have also been targeted despite their past contributions. Despite these sentiments, the expectation is still a Democratic win, though political chaos seems widespread, not just in the US, but globally. Let's have a look back to the interview.
I couldn't see it going past 2,600. Then all of a sudden, the chart's saying 4,000 to 5,000. But before I was seeing that, you think, well, what's the point of gold? Everyone's saying, well, of course, it's the original money and it's going to be money again and the dollar's going to go away and all that stuff. And, maybe the end of the world is nigh. But if it isn't nigh, none of that's going to happen. Gold's never going to be a coin, which is very unpopular amongst a certain audience to say that. However, what is the point of gold? Why do governments have huge buildings full of billions in gold? Well, it's because when there's a war, if there's a war, for many countries, the only currency is gold. So you can definitely say that gold is currency, but it's a currency of governments in the most extreme of times. I would say that obviously Trump was a complete shoo-in, and now Harris is there. It looks like he's going to lose. And the only thing, I sat next to some really powerful financial people who were very, very democratic, who were, basically part of the wildly Trump deranged left wing. And, Biden was in full power of his IQ, was healthy and spring chicken. And the Democrats were brilliant. And Trump was, Satan incarnate. And, the thought that occurred to me is the way that Trump could win, is that the Democrats don't turn out, because every single Trump supporter is going to turn out in droves. There's not going to be one Trump supporter that isn't going to go down to the ballot box. Whereas the Democrats go, oh, we've won this. Oh, well, we'll stay at home. And that could swing it Trump's way, but that's the only way from the look of the polls that he's going to get it. And, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing about politics these days is you don't get a choice, do you? I mean, you're between the devil and the deep blue sea. It's all so far polarized and off the dial. I mean, the only thing is, obviously, Democrats hate crypto. And Trump, at least, well, I believe that Trump wouldn't be anti-crypto, although the whole system he'd be running would be. So to an extent, as a crypto person, I mean, I would, the only reason, if I had to vote, I'd vote for Trump because he's been so horrifically bullied by the state lawfare system, that's what you call it, isn't it? That it's appalling that a political system can set the dogs on you like that, because that's not justice. And obviously, if you go back to Bill Clinton, they did it to him, and then they didn't do it to Bush, and then they didn't do it to Obama, they didn't do it to Biden, but they did the same thing that they did to Clinton. They're doing it to Trump, and when he left, that should have been the end of it, at least, and it carried on. So that's a terrible thing. And being an Englishman, I like to back the underdog, and it's appalling that what they've done to Trump and Giuliani as well, who was the hero of New York. I mean, he turned around New York from a hellhole into a really great city, and they've stuck it to him too. I mean, it's a terrible thing. So, I don't know, but I think it's going to be Democrat. And, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's bad all over. I mean, the situation in the UK was pretty unbelievable.
Both gold and crypto are reacting to heightened global tensions, with gold serving as a reserve for governments during crises and crypto as a hedge for individuals. As central banks inject liquidity and geopolitical instability rises, the prices of these assets continue to climb, signaling deeper uncertainty. On the political front, Trump's prospects appear diminished, but there remains a possibility of victory if Democratic voter turnout falters. The broader landscape is marked by polarization, regulatory challenges, and unpredictable global developments. How might central bank policies in the coming months impact the trajectory of gold and crypto prices? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel first and then watch the video, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Until next time.